The Galactic Exile. Commander Elara Chen stood rigid before the Galactic Council Chamber's massive curved table. The vast semicircular room felt unnaturally cold, and the air hung heavy with unspoken tension. 27 representatives from the most powerful species in the Alliance gazed down at her from their elevated positions. Some had iridescent scales, others had multiple eyes or limbs, and a few seemed to shimmer with internal bioluminescence. Elara maintained her composure despite her racing heart. After 15 years of distinguished service in the Alliance Defense Fleet, she had expected a routine debriefing following the Battle of Proxima Centauri, not this formal summons before the full council. Commander Chen of Earth intoned High Counselor Vex Moore, a towering being with silvery skin and eyes that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. The Galactic Council has reached a unanimous decision regarding your species. Elara inclined her head respectfully. I'm honored to represent humanity, High Counselor. Vex Moore's long fingers tapped a rhythm on the obsidian table. There is no diplomatic way to convey this. As of today, all humans are hereby banned from participating in any galactic military operations, peacekeeping missions, or armed conflicts under Alliance jurisdiction. The words hit Elara like a physical blow. She blinked twice, certain she had misheard. Banned, High Counselor. Correct. This is not a recommendation or a temporary measure. It is a binding decree. A murmur rippled through the chamber. Elara noticed several representatives nodding with visible relief, while others avoided her gaze entirely. With all due respect, Elara said, keeping her voice steady despite her rising confusion, humanity has participated in only 3 galactic conflicts. We joined the Alliance against the hegemony invasion, helped contain the Void Plague outbreak, and most recently supported the defense of Proxima Centauri. We have adhered to all combat protocols and conventions. Vex Moore raised a 6-fingered hand to silence her. Your understanding of events is limited, Commander. Then help me understand, Elara replied, her voice rising slightly. What regulations did we violate? We never employed restricted weapons. We treated prisoners according to Alliance standards. We, a representative with blue-violet skin and crystalline growths along their jawline, leaned forward. It is not what humans did wrong, Commander Chen. It is what you are. Heat rose to Elara's face. And what exactly are we, Counselor? Vex Moore stood, towering nearly 3 meters tall. This decision is final. Earth forces will withdraw to your solar system within 30 standard cycles. You may maintain your defensive fleets, but no human vessels will join Alliance operations again. For how long? Elara asked, her military discipline beginning to crack. Indefinitely, Vex Moore replied coldly. Elara scanned the chamber, searching for any sympathetic face among the alien dignitaries. Humanity has a right to know why we're being ostracized. For the safety of all civilizations, including your own, this session is concluded. 2 sentinel guards materialized at Elara's sides, not threatening but clearly there to escort her out. As she turned to leave, a small counselor with luminous orange eyes spoke up. The human deserves an explanation. The chamber fell silent. Vex Moore's expression darkened. The council has decided otherwise. She fought alongside my people at Proxima Centauri. The orange-eyed counselor continued. Many of my kind remain in healing chambers because of that battle, not from enemy fire, but from fighting in proximity to them. Elara turned back. What are you saying? We protected your vessels. The orange-eyed counselor looked at her with what appeared to be sadness. Yes, and therein lies the problem. The guards guided Elara toward the exit. Her last glimpse of the council was of beings conferring in hushed tones, some looking afraid, others seemingly relieved. The massive doors sealed behind her with a resonant thud that felt like the closing of an era. 4 hours later, Elara sat in her quarters aboard the transport vessel heading back to Earth. Her message to Earth Command had been brief. Council meeting concluded. Humans banned from all galactic military operations. No clear explanation provided. Full report upon return. Her door chimed. Enter, Ilara called. The door slid open to reveal Zethal, a blue-skinned Medusan who had served alongside Ilara in 2 campaigns. Despite appearing humanoid with slightly larger eyes and delicate gill slits at the neck, Zethal's species originated from an ocean world 4,000 light-years from Earth. I heard the news, Zethal said, stepping inside. The door closed silently behind him. Ilara gestured to a seat. Have you come to explain what I apparently cannot comprehend? Zethal sat carefully, his movements measured. The Council fears humans, Ilara. Fears us. Humanity has less advanced technology than 3/4 of the Alliance. We're newcomers to interstellar travel compared to most species. It's not your technology, Zethal replied, his large eyes troubled. It's what happens when humans fight. Ilara laughed without humor. We fight like everyone else. We try to achieve objectives without excessive casualties. Zethal shook his head slowly. No, you don't fight like everyone else. That's precisely the issue. Ilara stood and paced the small room. We've been spacefaring for less than a century. We've participated in only 3 conflicts. How could we be so fundamentally different? Remember the Battle of Proxima Centauri? Zethal asked. Of course. Your ships were surrounded. We broke formation to create an extraction corridor. And do you recall what happened to my squadron after fighting alongside your vessels for 5 hours? Ilara stopped pacing. Some of your crew fell ill. We thought it was a biological contaminant. It wasn't a contaminant, Zethal said quietly. It was you. All of you. That makes no sense. Zethal rose and moved toward the door. I shouldn't be here, but you saved my life twice. I owed you some explanation. You haven't explained anything, Ilara protested. Zethal paused, his hand hovering over the door controls. Access the medical reports from after Proxima Centauri. Not just for my species, but for all races who fought in close proximity to humans. Then you'll begin to understand why the galaxy fears you. After Zethal departed, Ilara sat motionless for a long time. Finally, she retrieved her secure tablet and sent a message to her old friend, Dr. Maya Patel. Need access to medical reports from Proxima Centauri. Focus on non-human casualty patterns. Something's very wrong. She gazed out the viewport at the stars streaking by. Humanity had worked tirelessly to join the galactic community, sharing knowledge, trading resources, learning alien languages, fighting alongside their new allies. Now they were being sent home like dangerous children who had misbehaved, yet no one would explain what they had done. This isn't finished, Ilara whispered to the silent stars. If there's something about us that terrifies the Council this deeply, we need to know what it is. The transport continued its journey toward Earth, carrying news that would shock human leaders and set Ilara on a path to uncover the truth behind the ban, a truth about humanity that would change everything. 5 years had passed since the Galactic Council banned humans from all interstellar conflicts. Commander Ilara Chen was no longer a commander. The Earth Unified Government had established a classified division to investigate the reasons behind the ban, and Ilara now led this small team. Their headquarters was hidden beneath the restored city of Bangkok. The facility had no windows, and its walls were lined with displays showing data streams from across known space. 4 people sat around a circular table, their expressions serious. 5 years, said Raj Kapoor, drumming his fingers on the table. Once the top intelligence analyst in Earth's fleet, Raj now used his expertise to gather covered information. 5 years, and we still lack definitive answers. Dr. Maya Patel nodded, her eyes fatigued from analyzing alien medical data. We know something significant occurred at Proxima Centauri, but the medical reports are heavily encrypted. I've only managed to access fragments. Nikolay Volkov, formerly a diplomatic liaison before joining Ilara's team, looked up from his tablet. The Council members continue to refuse all communication. Even our former allies avoid discussing the ban. Ilara stood and approached the main display. Today, that changes. Raj has found something. Raj smiled tightly and activated his wrist interface. The central screen illuminated with video footage. This is from the Battle of Proxima Centauri. It took me 3 years to locate this recording. The team watched as the video showed ships exchanging fire, energy beams crisscrossing the blackness of space. Then the view shifted to the interior of a vessel. "This is a human ship," Ilara said, pointing to the crew members. "Yes," Raj confirmed. "But watch what happens as the battle intensifies." The footage showed human soldiers fighting with increasing effectiveness. As the conflict escalated, their movements became more coordinated, their reactions faster, their focus more intense. They operated in sync in ways that seemed almost preternatural. "Now observe this," Raj said, switching to another recording. "This is inside a Medusan vessel during the same engagement. The blue-skinned aliens fought courageously initially, but after hours of combat near human forces, something strange occurred. The Medusans began to tremble. Some collapsed, others fired their weapons erratically, depleting energy reserves. They're experiencing neural overload," Maya said quietly. "Just as the medical fragments suggested." Raj nodded. "And it affected every alien species that fought alongside humans for more than 4 hours." Nikolai leaned forward. "But why? What are we doing to them?" Ilara deactivated the recording. "That's what we need to discover, and I believe I know where to look next." She indicated a small point on a star chart. "Station Omega 9. It houses the Alliance archives." Maya's eyes widened. "That's the most secure facility in Alliance space. Humans are explicitly prohibited from approaching it." "Exactly," Ilara said, "which means that's where they keep the truth." The truth revealed. 3 weeks later, Ilara's team arrived at Station Omega 9 aboard a trading vessel. They wore molecular disguise masks that altered their appearance, making them resemble members of the Vorkwal species, tall beings with mottled gray-green skin. "Remember," Ilara whispered as they moved through the crowded station, "we have 6 hours before the masks begin to deteriorate. We need to be gone by then." The team separated. Raj headed for the security center, Maya for the medical archives, Nikolai for the diplomatic records section. Ilara would attempt to access the military files. Ilara navigated the quiet corridors of the archive, her false Vorkwal hands pressing identification panels that opened successive security doors. The stolen access codes functioned perfectly. Eventually, she reached the military records chamber. "I'm in position," she said softly into her concealed communicator. "Medical archives accessed," Maya responded. "There's an overwhelming amount of data. Searching for Proxima Centauri reports now." "Security systems mapped," Raj added. "I can create diversions if necessary." "Diplomatic records are heavily restricted," Nikolai reported, sounding concerned. "But I've located a terminal I can access." Ilara began searching through the military files. Most were secured with advanced encryption, but she had prepared for this. She attached a small device to the computer terminal. The screen flickered, and suddenly additional files appeared. "I found something," she said. "Combat performance statistics from all conflicts involving humans." She downloaded the data rapidly, her eyes scanning the figures. "This is unusual. According to these reports, human-led units were 400% more effective than projected models predicted. That's statistically impossible." "I found the medical reports." Maya's excited voice came through. "They show abnormal neurological patterns in aliens who fought alongside humans. Their brains were somehow being stimulated beyond normal parameters." The diplomatic records contain minutes from emergency sessions after Proxima Centauri, Nikolai added. The council was terrified. They classified everything related to something called the resonance effect. "The resonance effect," Ilara repeated. "Can you copy those files?" "Working on it," Nikolai replied. Then his tone changed abruptly. "Someone's approaching. I think they've..." A piercing alarm blared throughout the station. We've been discovered, Raj said urgently. Security teams are converging on Nikolai's position. Nikolai, evacuate immediately, Ilara ordered, disconnecting her device from the terminal. Too late, Nikolai replied calmly. But I've transmitted the files to your devices. Get to the ship. Ilara ran through the corridors, her heart pounding. The mask covering her face felt warm, a warning that it might fail soon. She rounded a corner and nearly collided with two security officers. "Excuse me," she said, striving to sound composed. "What's happening?" "Security breach," one officer replied. "All non-essential personnel should return to their quarters." Ilara nodded and walked past them, forcing herself not to run. Once out of sight, she sprinted toward the docking bay. Maya and Raj were already there, waiting beside the trading vessel. Their expressions betrayed their concern. "Where's Nikolai?" Maya asked anxiously. "He'll make it," Ilara said, though uncertainty gnawed at her. Minutes passed agonizingly. The alarm continued to wail. Then, just as Ilara was about to lose hope, Nikolai appeared, running toward them with 4 security officers in pursuit. "Launch now," Nikolai shouted. "I'll delay them." "No," Ilara cried, but Raj pulled her into the ship. He knew the risks, Raj said grimly, initiating the launch sequence. Through the viewport, they watched Nikolai engage the guards, buying them precious time to escape. The last thing they saw before the ship accelerated away from the station was Nikolai being subdued by security forces. Ilara stared at the data device in her hand. "Then we need to ensure his sacrifice wasn't in vain. Let's examine what's in these files about the resonance effect." As their vessel sped toward their hidden base on Europa, Jupiter's ice-covered moon, Ilara couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to discover something about humanity that would fundamentally alter their understanding of themselves and their place in the galaxy. The small ship landed silently on Europa's frozen surface. A concealed hangar opened beneath them, and the vessel descended into the hidden base. Ilara, Maya, and Raj disembarked into the facility constructed within the moon's thick ice shell. Through reinforced transparent panels in the ceiling, Jupiter's massive form dominated the black sky, its swirling storms visible even from this distance. "I still can't believe we left Nikolai behind," Maya said, her voice hollow. Ilara placed a hand on her shoulder. "He made his choice. Now we need to honor it." The base was compact, but well-equipped. The central room contained multiple analysis stations and a large holographic projector. Raj immediately connected the data device to the main computer. "The files are encrypted," he said, his fingers moving rapidly across the interface. "But nothing I can't bypass." Ilara paced while they waited. Nikolai mentioned the resonance effect. What could that possibly mean? Maya settled at another workstation. "Whatever it is, it was significant enough for the Council to exile our entire species from galactic conflicts. It must be profound." "I've got it," Raj exclaimed after 40 minutes of work. The holographic projector activated, displaying dozens of files in 3-dimensional space. The first files were medical reports, similar to what Maya had found previously, but far more comprehensive. They displayed neural scans of various alien species before and after combat alongside humans. "Look at these patterns," Maya said, expanding the holographic brain images. "Their neural activity is completely altered after sustained proximity to humans during battle." Raj opened another file. This one contained combat footage with specialized data overlays showing vital signs, brain activity, and other biometric measurements. They watched in silence as human soldiers fought, the data streaming beside them. "What are we looking for?" Ilara asked. "There," Raj pointed. "Watch closely." The data revealed something extraordinary happening to the humans as combat intensified. Their brain patterns synchronized, neurotransmitter levels spiked in coordinated patterns, and their bioelectrical fields exhibited peculiar harmonic resonances. "They're calling it combat resonance amplification," Maya said, examining another file. It appears to be unique to humans. Ilara frowned. Combat resonance amplification. What exactly does that mean? It means, Maya replied slowly, that humans unconsciously generate a synchronized bioelectrical field during combat that amplifies as danger increases. The field affects nearby nervous systems, including those of other species. Raj nodded. According to these studies, humans evolved on a particularly dangerous world. We developed not just individual fight-or-flight responses, but a collective combat resonance that allowed early human groups to synchronize during life-threatening situations. A survival adaptation, Ilara murmured. But why would that cause the Council to ban us? Maya expanded another file. Because our resonance field doesn't just affect us, it spills over to nearby sentient beings. For humans, the effect is beneficial, enhancing coordination and combat effectiveness. But for alien physiologies, she gestured at the medical scans. It overloads their neural systems, Ilara concluded, like forcing too much current through incompatible circuitry. Precisely, Raj said. And the effect compounds over time. Short exposures cause minimal harm, but sustained combat alongside humans eventually damages alien nervous systems. That's why they banned us, Ilara whispered. We weren't just good allies in battle. We were unintentionally harming everyone fighting beside us. A red alert suddenly flashed across the screens. Raj swiftly checked the security system. Incoming transmission from Earth Command, he reported. Priority Alpha. The holographic display shifted to show Admiral Harrison, commander of Earth's Defense Forces. His expression was grim. Commander Chen, your team needs to return immediately. We have a situation. What's happened, Admiral? Ilara asked. The hegemony has returned. They've breached the defensive perimeter at Ta City. 3 Alliance worlds have already fallen. The Admiral's image flickered. The Council has contacted us. Ilara's eyes widened. The Council, after 5 years of silence. They've requested human assistance, Harrison said, his voice tight with disbelief. They're desperate. 1 month later, Ilara stood on the bridge of the Earth battlecruiser Indomitable, staring at the tactical display. The combined Alliance fleet faced an overwhelming hegemony armada. The Council had reluctantly called humans back into the fight after the hegemony destroyed 4 Alliance worlds. They're deploying their dreadnoughts, Lieutenant Park reported from the tactical station. Ilara nodded. Status of Alliance vessels. Maintaining position at maximum safe distance from our ships, Park replied. The safe distance had been Ilara's condition for human participation. Based on their research findings, human vessels would fight independently, separated from alien ships to prevent neural damage to their crews. Fleet-wide communication incoming, the communications officer announced. The main screen activated to show High Counselor Vex Moore. Commander Chen, the hegemony forces have broken through our forward defenses. We cannot hold them without closer coordination with your ships. High Counselor, we discussed this. Ilara replied firmly. Proximity to human vessels during combat will harm your crews. We've developed neural dampeners based on your research, Vex Moore said. They will provide partial protection. Without integrated tactics, we will all perish here. Ilara exchanged glances with Maya and Raj, who had joined her for this mission. How effective are these dampeners? They reduce neural impact by 60%. Maya answered after reviewing the data. Not perfect, but it should prevent permanent damage for up to 8 hours of exposure. Ilara made her decision. Very well, High Counselor. We'll coordinate with your fleet, but we'll rotate positions every 4 hours to minimize exposure. The battle that followed was unlike any in galactic history. Human ships moved in perfect synchrony with Alliance vessels, their combat effectiveness amplified by the very phenomenon that had caused their exile. The hegemony forces, unprepared for this unified response, began to falter. On the 7th hour, Ilara noticed something unexpected in the battle data. Maya, look at this, she called. The Alliance crews fighting nearest to our ships, their combat effectiveness is increasing. Maya studied the readings. The dampeners are doing more than just protecting them. They're modulating the resonance effect, making it partially compatible with their neurophysiology. They're resonating with us, Raj realized. Not as strongly as humans do with each other, but they're beginning to synchronize. The battle concluded with a decisive victory. The hegemony fleet retreated, leaving the Alliance to count its losses and tend to its wounded. The human ships maintained their distance once the fighting ended, allowing alien crews to recover from the resonance exposure. 2 weeks later, Ilara stood once again before the Galactic Council, but this time the atmosphere was markedly different. The fear remained, but it was tempered with newfound respect. Commander Chen, Vexmore began, the Council has reviewed the battle data and your research on what we now understand as human combat resonance. Ilara waited silently. For 5 years, we feared what we did not comprehend, Vexmore continued. We witnessed the damage proximity to human warriors cause our forces, but we failed to recognize the potential benefits of this unique evolutionary adaptation when properly managed. The orange-eyed counselor spoke up. The neural dampening technology your scientists helped develop has opened new possibilities. With further refinement, controlled exposure to human resonance might even provide therapeutic applications. What does this mean for humanity's status in the Alliance? Ilara asked. Vexmore's expression remained solemn. The ban on human military participation is conditionally lifted. Human forces will serve as specialized units, deploying when conventional forces cannot prevail. Your scientists will work with ours to refine protection against neural damage, while maximizing tactical advantages. And Nikolai Volkov? Ilara inquired. Our team member captured at Station Omega-9. Released and en route to Earth, Vexmore replied. His actions, while technically criminal, ultimately benefited the Alliance. As Ilara departed the council chamber, Zev Thal waited in the corridor. You discovered the truth, the Medusan said. Ilara nodded. Humans aren't just soldiers. We're amplifiers, battle resonators. Our presence changes the combat equation. It's more than that, Zev Thal replied. You've shown us that what we feared could become what saves us. The galaxy banned humans from war because you were too effective, too intense. Your combat resonance overwhelmed our physiologies. Now we understand that with proper safeguards, humanity's unique gift can be harnessed without harm. A new role for humanity, Ilara mused. Indeed, Zev Thal agreed. Not just warriors, but synchronizers, the resonant core of the Alliance's defense. The galaxy banned humans from war because they didn't understand you. Now they do. And that understanding changes everything. As Ilara boarded her ship for the journey home, she reflected on the irony of their situation. Humanity's most primal adaptation, the ability to synchronize in battle, had first alienated them from the galactic community, then ultimately secured their place within it. The stars seemed brighter somehow as the ship accelerated toward Earth, carrying news that would transform humanity's understanding of themselves and their unique place in the cosmos. Not just as another spacefaring species, but as resonant warriors whose evolutionary heritage had shaped them into something extraordinary. The galaxy had banned humans from war out of fear. Now they welcomed them back out of understanding. And that made all the difference.